Listening, fill in the blanks.
Let's start.
Every species has its own colony of microbes, called a microbiome, and these microbes vary not only between species but also between individuals and within different parts of each individual. What is amazing is that while the number of human cells in the average person is about 30 trillion, the number of microbial ones is higher, about 39 trillion. At best, Jung informs us, we are only 50% human. Indeed, some scientists even suggest we should think of each species and its microbes as a single unit, dubbed a holobiont.
Another issue is the extent to which the technology influences, or even controls the workforce. For over 2 years, PTE monitored a telecommunications company. The way telecom salespeople work is through personal and frequent contact with clients, using the benefit of experience to assess a situation and reach a decision. However, the company had started using an algorithm that defined when account managers should contact certain customers about which kinds of campaigns and what to offer them.
The most preferable means of propulsion is via electrified rails atop the beams. Although electric transport systems still require fossil fuels to be burnt or dams to be built, they add much less to air pollution than the burning of petrol within conventional engines. In addition, they help keep polluted air out of cities and restrict it to the point of origin, where it can be more easily dealt with. Furthermore, electric motors are typically 90% efficient, compared to internal combustion engines, which are at most 30% efficient. They are also better at accelerating and climbing hills. This efficiency is no less true of beam systems than of single vehicles.
A relatively high traffic throughput can be maintained, automated systems can react faster than can human drivers, and the increased speed of movement is expected to compensate for loss of privacy. It is estimated that at peak travel times passenger capacity could be more than double that of current subway systems. It might be possible to arrange for 2 simultaneous methods of vehicle hire, one in which large carriages, literally buses, run to a timetable, and another providing for hire of small independently occupied cars at a slightly higher cost. Travelers could order a car by swiping a card through a machine, which recognizes a personal number code.
Economist Professor Hamish Lowe believes that the future of work will involve major transitions across the whole life course for everyone. The traditional trajectory of full-time education followed by full-time work followed by a pensioned retirement is a thing of the past, says Lowe. Instead, he envisages a multi-stage employment life, one where retraining happens across the life course, and where multiple jobs and no job happen by choice at different stages.
It is true that the initial outlay for a section of the beam-operated system will be more than for a similar stretch of tarred road. However, costs for the proposed system must necessarily include vehicle costs, which are not factored into road building budgets. Savings made will include all tunnels, since it costs about $120,000 per kilometer to build a new 6-lane road tunnel. Subway train tunnels cost about half that amount, because they are smaller in size. Tunnels carrying beam traffic will have a narrower cross-sectional diameter, and can be dug at less depth than existing tunnels, further reducing costs. A good supply of the right kind of ingenuity is essential, but it isn't, of course, enough by itself. We know that the creation of wealth, for example, depends not only on an adequate supply of useful ideas, but also on the availability of other, more conventional factors of production, like capital and labor. Similarly, prosperity, stability and justice usually depend on the resolution, or at least the containment, of major political struggles over wealth and power. Yet within our economies ingenuity often supplants labor. The past century's countless incremental changes in our societies around the planet In our technologies and our interactions with our surrounding natural environments have accumulated to create a qualitatively new world. Because these changes have accumulated slowly, it's often hard for us to recognize how profound and sweeping they've been. They include far larger and denser populations, much higher per capita consumption of natural resources, and far better and more widely available technologies for the movement of people, materials, and especially information.
One of the main problems posed by sand dunes is their encroachment on human habitats. Sand dunes move by different means, all of them aided by the wind. Sand dunes threaten buildings and crops in Africa, the Middle East, and China. Preventing sand dunes from overwhelming cities and agricultural areas has become a priority for the United Nations Environment Program. On the other hand, dune habitats provide niches for highly specialized plants and animals, including numerous rare and endangered species. Bricks are one of the oldest known building materials, dating back to 7000 BCE. The oldest found were sun-dried mud bricks in southern Turkey, and these would have been standard in those days. Although sun-dried mud bricks worked reasonably well, especially in moderate climates, fired bricks were found to be more resistant to harsher weather conditions, and so fired bricks are much more reliable for use in permanent buildings. Fired brick are also useful in hotter climates, as they can absorb any heat generated throughout the day, and then release it at night.
Like, share, subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon for further updates.